Welcome back to a new video. I'm gonna make an attempt to make this video due to my mind being scrambled. We had a huge metal festival here in Belgium in my hometown, which I attended just last night, so my mind might be a bit all over the place, there you go. But we're gonna try, and then if I don't like it, I'll just delete this video. Let her to post it. So if you're watching this, I felt it came out good enough for you to take the time. And the reason I want to make it now is because the way I'm feeling now is extremely relevant towards the topic of the video, which is there's always going to be something wrong. And if my plan doesn't change, that should be the title of this video. There's always gonna be something wrong. And what I mean by that is, if you're a person like me who tends to think a lot, analyze a lot, and basically is seemingly unable to turn off this both trouble solving and trouble creating machine of a mind that we have, you'll also often find yourself in a position where you just kind of have this impending feeling of doom, meaning that the minute we do not have serious pressing issues and problems for our supercomputer up here to solve, we immediately revert to creating issues. And today is one of those days. Very often overthinking and the mind being out of whack and out of balance is infused by alcohol abuse, aka just getting drunk. I'm not trying to come out as an alcoholic here, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that some drinking, some smoking will then lead you to mind altering states that then carry over into the next day. And that's kind of where I'm at today. I've been feeling a little bit, I've been stressing, and I caught myself pondering certain things, certain people, certain situations, certain relationships. And then I caught myself and I said, dude, everything is great. Life is really good, objectively. I'm in the peak of my life. I'm in the prime of my strength as a 36-year-old man. I had a girlfriend. I had a good career, back on track. My YouTube channel is gaining traction by the day. My family is healthy. All the people in my family, close family, are healthy and alive. So everything is really good. But then this morning I caught myself driving and just creating problems and beginning to stress over them before I caught myself. And that's why I wanted to make this video, to tell you guys that finish line of mental bliss simply does not exist. We will always find ways to convince ourselves something is wrong and something needs solving. That's also why I have many and numerous times stated that when I was going through my cancer, when I was going through my chemo, and when really the status of my recovery in terms of will I be able to live cancer free again? Will I heal at all? Will I recover? When all of that was still up in the air, I was, in a weird way, the most at peace, the least stressed out, and the happiest. Because I had this one big, clear mission, like survival. I had one job, and that job was to make it to the next day, stay alive, and bonus points if you can do it whilst remaining positive, which is exactly what I did. I always make the joke that I found my passion in surviving cancer because I seemingly seem to be quite good at it. I'm good at remaining positive and just kind of accepting what has taken place and putting one foot in front of the other and attempting to move forward every single day. So I did my job. I got through my cancers. But then as soon as I healed, as soon as now things are objectively great again, I find myself getting back into that habit of creating issues. And so I just basically need you guys to understand that we are like, the mind is like a scanner, right? And it tries to identify the most pressing issues. So the biggest issues show up on our emotional radar at first. But then as soon as we tackle them or they go away, our incredibly fine-tuned scanner is just going to keep on looking until there's nothing left but a person not having texted you back. Such a small, minor, irrelevant thing, but because we have such a fine-tuned scanner that when all the elephants are gone and there's only mosquitoes left to focus on, that's what it does, and it focuses on it and it enhances it and it makes it bigger, and before you know it, you're stressed out because you think person XYZ is angry at you because of something you said because it hasn't texted back yet. And you create this whole scenario in your head. But guess what? None of that is actually real. And on top of that, you would never even care about that if you would have more pressing issues going on in your life at the moment. So it's important to understand that understanding that is better than attempting to get rid of that. Sometimes the most important thing and the most valuable skill one can have is the ability to separate ourselves from our emotions. Don't be too quick to unify your gut feeling, your instinct, or even worse, your heart, with your true sentiment and your true personality. Learn to distance yourself from those feelings, from those emotions, from that internal voice, and look at it as a third party, a third person altogether. Obviously, you can tell I am borrowing some of this from the infamous book, The Power of Now. I recommend anyone to read that book by now. I feel like a lot of people already have, but I feel like that's the most valuable lesson in that entire book. So let me just, save you the trouble. Just learn to understand that just because you feel a certain way or you think about something, that's not necessarily you. You have to learn to take a step back and just, even if you need to externally vocalize it, I'll actually talk to myself. I'll start having a conversation with myself in the car, and just me being able to express that, me being able to say that, often already does the trick in terms of getting rid of that anxious feeling, that feeling of stress and conflict on the inside. And I just kind of I like to have a conversation like that with myself, where I just kind of speak about what's really factually taken place. And I differentiate between that and the things in my mind. And then I conclude with, dude, it's all good. Don't try to make that feeling go away. It's going to be there. Just don't give it that much validity. And simply by doing so, ironically, it does end up going away. It does end up getting better, and it does end up getting easier. So next time you feel that way, gonna make a little U-turn, just try to understand that once you've arrived at that moment where you start stressing out about people not texting back, or you perhaps having been a little bit awkward at a social convention, that means you're doing pretty damn good. When the mosquitoes start showing up on the emotional radar, it means that you're not terminally ill. It means that you're not about to get evicted. It means that you're not about to get fired. It means that you're not about to get dumped or just got dumped. You see what I'm saying? Let those mosquitoes serve as indicators of good news. Let that be the finish line. Stop thinking about this moment where you were supposed to be in bliss, like that moment never actually took place. That moment where you were totally relaxed. Once you turn into like a cognitive teenager, not even an adult, a cognitive teenager that is more or less in touch and acquainted with the reality of this harsh thing called life, it's kind of normal to like never be able to fully relax and leave your guard down again. So don't strive to achieve that hypothetical state of mind. I say hypothetical because in reality it doesn't really exist, and it rarely or never occurs. Instead, choose to remain realistic and stay on the path of identifying the small issues, maybe someone being angry at you, some relationship souring, some awkwardness, all those type of little mosquitoes. That's great. If that's what we're dealing with, that is great. We have to work on lowering the sensitivity level of our anxiety radar. There's always going to be something wrong. Always, always, always. That's just the way it works. That's how we're designed. That's why people think they'll reach happiness and bliss when they get the girl, the guy, the money, the career, the house. And they never ever do. So fast forward through that process. Stop chasing the dangling golden carrot of a happiness that does not exist. And start understanding that this, right here and right now, is more than likely as good as it is ever going to get. There's always going to be something wrong, guys. Don't be afraid to just kind of talk to yourself about it, vocalize it. Saying things out loud works. Trust me. And ironically, me making this video is doing just that. Me telling you guys that there's always going to be something wrong, and that what I'm feeling right now are the direct effects of drinking too much, of smoking a little bit too much, of having late nights, of eating greasy festival food, is more than likely, if not without a doubt, the reason that I'm feeling out of whack and anxious and a little bit, Ooh. The beauty of getting older and the beauty of being 36 is, at some point, you've seen the same movie, you've heard the same song so many times to where you're finally able to start seeing the patterns. And that's why I always stress the importance of introspection, self-analysis, and then drawing conclusions from that and building on that. This is something that I pride myself on, and I think is one of the most important things you can do. But step by step, start by understanding that whenever you start stressing about those small things, when those mosquitoes start bleeping up on your radar, you're doing as good as you might want, or as good as you would be able to do so. As you would be, what is that? Is that English? See, this is when I know I gotta stop talking, and this is when I know my mind is too scrambled for another video. But I do feel like I got the core message across, so I feel like you'll be watching this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment below, leave a thumb up, share this video, and as always, don't forget, life is so beautiful. The older I get, the more I understand that my scope of interests becomes more narrow and narrow and narrow. When you're a child, when you're a teenager, like all these shiny objects and everything is so interesting to you, right? To me, at least, it was. And then you get older and older and older, and then you just want to spend some time with your aging parents, have a good meal, walk in nature, take care of your body. That's about it. No more FOMO, no more fear of missing out. The world is overrated, my dear friends, but life is not. Ponder on that one. That might be a whole separate video for the future. Peace out.